Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk to you about the 3 causes of autoimmunity. The things that I'm going to talk about in today's video apply to just about every single autoimmune condition that you can have. So whatever it is that you're experiencing, this model should fit. So let's start with the first cause, leaky gut. Leaky gut, also known as gastrointestinal hyperpermeability, is a situation where the lining of the digestive tract has lost integrity, and things that are supposed to stay in the digestive system are now entering the body, entering the bloodstream. Now, this is a really important distinction because although your digestive system is inside of you, it's actually outside of you. Now, I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but let me try to help you understand. So your digestive tract is basically, it starts at your mouth, and it's this hollow tube that runs all the way through your body, connects to the anus, which again, another hole on the outside of your body. Every part of your digestive system, although it is inside of you, it's separated from the inside of the actual functions of your body. So for example, you don't have blood in any of this area. The space inside of your stomach, the space inside of your colon, this is outside of your body. There's no blood here. This is actually an external environment that's inside of you. And the reason that this is very important is there are many substances that are appropriate to be in this environment, and they're actually potentially healthful or tolerable without any negative consequence, symptom, or disease. However, when they cross that threshold, when they leave this internally external environment and cross that 1 cell thick digestive lining and enter our body, our bloodstream, it creates a lot of problems. So in this leaky gut category of autoimmunity, you tend to see 2 different types of people. You've got one category of individuals that seem to have some level of autoimmunity connected to the foods that they're eating. And these kinds of people might be able to restrict their diet and avoid these foods, and then the autoimmune symptoms tend to improve. This happens commonly with nightshade vegetables, or when people have sensitivities to certain food groups. I often see this with starches as an example. And what can be happening here is there are compounds in the food that are not being digested correctly, or that are supposed to be staying in the digestive system and are entering the body. When this happens, the immune system sees these foreign substances that aren't supposed to be here and trigger a reaction. Now, different people are sensitive to different things. And when this immune system activity starts, it's going to affect everybody differently depending on the things that they're sensitive to, the composition of their microbiome, their genetics, and many different and less scientific factors. You could kind of look at metaphysics to kind of get an idea. In this realm, you'd be thinking, okay, milk might be connected to the mother, because mothers produce milk. And a lot of people that have dairy problems have trauma associated with the mother wound, as an example. But again, a lot less scientific, but there is a sort of science to it. But then you've got another group of people who tend to have these kinds of reactions all of the time, regardless of what they eat. And what can be happening in this case is it's not a component of the food that's absorbing that's causing the autoimmunity. It's something that's produced by a bacteria or a yeast or something in the digestive system when it's eating the food that that person is eating. And therefore, it's less influenced by the diet because you're gonna, whatever you eat, have a constant trickle of these substances that are triggering the individual's immune system and activating this immune response, which in turn triggers autoimmunity. The second cause of autoimmunity is compromised cells. And what you tend to see here is either or, sometimes both, infection or toxicity. So the modern understanding of autoimmunity is that the immune system is broken and it's kind of naively or idiotically attacking itself. It's kind of stupid, and consequently, the medical treatment that you get is immunosuppressive drugs. So these are drugs that actually just turn the immune system off. But what I tend to find is the cells that are being attacked in the autoimmune reaction contain something that's potentially harmful to the host. For example, some kind of viral infection or some kind of accumulated toxicity like mold toxins or some type of heavy metal or something like that. And the body in its wisdom is trying to do something about it, is trying to remove that toxicity or remove that foreign invader from the tissue. As a consequence, it looks like the body's attacking itself. And the thing is, the body is trying to use the immune system to support the detoxification process or to potentially kill pathogens that might be present. If we approach this through immune suppression, you might, in the short term, see temporary relief because you're going to turn off this immune response. You're going to make it so that the body stops attacking its own cells. However, whatever it is that's in the cell that it was trying to clear out, be it some kind of toxin or some kind of viral component or whatever it is then able to run around freely doing whatever it wants. And this is pretty well documented. This isn't speculation. One of the consequences of immunosuppressive drugs is that, especially with long-term use, the likelihood of some kind of significant or very harsh sounding health problem increases in likelihood. Now, I'm not going to say specifically what this could look like because the YouTube algorithm has been really focusing in on certain keywords, but I just want you to imagine what might happen in your body if you turn your immune system off. What diseases or symptoms or consequences could you expect from not having a strong immune system? That's kind of what you're going to be looking at. So instead of suppressing the immune system, we want to help the immune system. We want to allow it and support it to complete its job. And in the case of toxicity, I find the body only really activates the immune system to clear toxicity if its preferred way of dealing with toxicity is reduced or inhibited for some reason. So a lot of the time I see people with like histamine, mast cell activation problems coming with this autoimmune component as well. These are people that have compromised the detoxification processes in their body. If you actually think about it, the body doesn't have a separate immune system and a separate detoxification system. The body works holistically as a whole. And at the extreme end, when somebody's capacity to detoxify is significantly inhibited, it will activate an immune style response to try to clear that toxicity instead. So if toxicity is actually the cause here, chasing the immune system makes absolutely no sense whatsoever because that's not where the dysfunction is. And my philosophy around healing that tends to work quite well, actually, having managed to resolve many autoimmune diseases myself and with others, assuming that the body is intelligent and doing everything you can to try to trace the symptoms and lab work to find where the dysfunction actually is and address at the point of dysfunction generally tends to provide much better results than trying to just chase the symptom or look in the area where the symptom is presenting itself. And finally, third cause of autoimmunity are emotions and trauma. Now, this might be a hard one for you to believe. Maybe not. Maybe you're very well aware of how this is connected. One of the most common things I see is when an individual rejects an aspect of themselves, and I frequently see this with people rejecting aspects of themselves like anger, sadness, and maybe kind of to your surprise, even parts like pleasure. You find me someone that has an autoimmune disease and they've got all these big labels of all these different things they're going through. Generally, they're not very good at feeling good. They're not very good at feeling well. And that's a part of them that they've actually sometimes suppressed or rejected. And if you suppress or reject a part of yourself on the emotional level, you're going to reject that part of yourself on the physical level as well. It's a simple principle. It's an energetic law. As above, so below. What's happening in the etheric, intangible realm must manifest in the physical realm as well. What I find maybe most interesting is that when you have an emotional root cause, when there's an emotional contributing factor to the autoimmunity, the place where the autoimmune disease is manifesting is very telling about the root. So for example, different parts of the body symbolize different things. I will give you a personal example because obviously I know my situation fairly well and I'm quite comfortable sharing my experiences. So for me, one of the autoimmune diseases that was the most challenging, and let's say I still haven't 100% resolved. Let's say I'm a good 70, 80% of the way there. It doesn't affect my quality of life as much on a daily basis, but there are still occasional flare-ups here and there. And these are invitations to look deeper at this emotional root cause. So for me, this is Sjogren's syndrome. So this is an autoimmune disease where the body is attacking the mucous membranes, especially the mucus secreting cells. So for me personally, the places I feel this the most are in my eyes. I'll get a lot of dryness in my eyes and in my stomach. So kind of like a gastritis style presentation, because obviously the mucus that your stomach produces to protect itself is secreted by the cells that can be attacked in a Sjogren's syndrome kind of situation. So I know very well I'm still working on processing worry and anxiety. And these are parts of me that I've rejected and I'm not very well connected with. And a lot of the time this manifests in my stomach. And I'm always searching for more. I'm always trying to understand. And this causes a lot of energy to come up to my face, to come up to my eyes. I'm always looking, I'm always searching, I'm always trying to figure it out. And you can probably tell I've figured a lot of it out because of the kind of content that I make and the videos that I have. However, what I really need to do a lot of the time is to not try to think so much. Think the eyes, they're connected to the brain, they're right up here. They're very logical, very analytical. I need to sink down more. I need to feel. I need to bring the energy back into the heart center and to feel the emotions. And this is exactly what I'm saying. This is the emotional root cause. If you know what you're looking for, if you've got the eyes for it, working on this emotional root cause with that metaphysical lens can be really helpful because it helps you see that your symptoms aren't random. There's a very specific reason you have the symptoms that you do. So they're the 3 causes of autoimmunity. Let me know if you're dealing with an autoimmune condition right now. What do you think is your root cause? And if you're open to it, I would encourage you, take a look at that emotional root because there's a lot of benefit to be found by working on the non-physical aspects of disease. I always love to throw that emotional curveball in at the end because you watch through the video, it's logical, it's scientific. You think, oh, this guy must really know what he's talking about. And I hit you with the curveball at the end and you think, oh, I kind of trusted him up to this point, so I have to listen to him now because I really want to push you towards where the results actually are. So let me know what you think. And if you have any questions about that metaphysical lens, let me know where you have your symptoms and I'll tell you what it means metaphysically below. So that's everything from me. Take care and I'll see you in the next one.